My name is Rich Lowry. I'm Vice Dean of Arts, Humanities, Interdisciplinary Studies, and other stuff. And I'd like to welcome you to the third iteration of the, and I wrote this down to get this right, Scholarly Perspective Series on Arts and Democracy. Brought to you, I've always wanted to use this, brought to you by the Reves Center for International Studies in Arts and Sciences. Just a quick reminder, Ms. Zaki will be offering 2 workshops this week. Tomorrow night at 6 in the Lab Theater, and if you haven't been in the Lab Theater, it's an experience that you want to do before you graduate, is the Interactive Theater for Dialogue. And then on Wednesday at 5 p.m., improvisation and social themes. One more little a bit before I hand this over. This is the 3rd out of 4. The 4th residency begins Monday. And we're very excited to be welcoming the photographer Daniel Hernandez Salazar. He'll be on campus for the entire week, if I'm not right? Monday through Friday. His talk is going to be on Thursday, April 10th, and it'll be across the way in the old Ewell Theater. Right now, I'm going to ask Holly Maples, Chair of Theater and Performance, to come up and introduce Iman Zaki.
Hello, we want to thank you all for coming so much to welcome Iman Zaki, who I'm delighted to bring to campus. Iman and I go back to 2010 when she was my master's student on the MA in Theatre for Development at University of East Anglia. And at that point, she had already started an NGO of her own, and then since then has gone on to really glorious things in both Alexandria, Egypt, as well as Germany and New York City and other places around the globe. So Iman is a cultural manager, researcher, consultant, and theater performer. She co-founded Reflection for Arts, a training and development organization in Alexandria, Egypt in 2007. The organization provides space and support for visual and performing artists and promotes the role of the arts in community development. Her work experience ranges from cultural management to facilitation to curating and producing work that investigates repression, sexual harassment, and domestic violence, amongst other social issues, with a focus on personal transformation and the use of theater and the other arts practice as tools for social change. Deeply concerned with governmental censorship, a lack of adequate funding, and the rejection of contemporary methodologies in local academic schools in Egypt, Iman recently opened a school for emerging artists, and she was just speaking with my students in the Critical Arts Collective class on work in exterior, untraditional spaces to deal with community social issues, as well as create and develop communication amongst artists and communities throughout Egypt and the world. So thank you so much. It's a delight to welcome you, Iman.
Hello. Hi. Thank you, Holly. Thank you, Rich, for this introduction. Thank you so much. I'm Iman. I'm Egyptian. I based in Alexandria City. How many of you went to the Middle East? Okay. Where? Where have you been?
Oh, I've been to Alexandria.
Wow. Okay. Okay. And. Okay.
Like 30, 40 years ago, I went to Israel.
Okay. I hope that you liked Alexandria. Alexandria is a cosmopolitan city. It's on the Mediterranean, and it's a very important city to the people who have been raised there, because it's a very unique part of Egypt. It's more international. The residents of Alexandria are from different backgrounds and from different communities. Today I'm going to talk to you about theater as a resistance, focusing on the Middle East. So I hope This will give you some insights about what's happening there and how we use theater as a tool for social change. Resistance theater has been a pivotal force in the MENA region, offering a unique space for artistic expression that challenges and critique system of power. The cultural significance of theater in this context extended beyond mere entertainment. It became a tool for resistance and a means of reclaiming lost or suppressed narratives. The MENA region context, it does not just document the struggle of the people. It becomes a form of collective action, an invitation to imagine and demand different possibilities. It enables marginalized communities to reclaim their voices and tell stories that often go unheard. In the time when a digital platform and a new form of performance are emerging, resistance theater finds itself adapting and evolving, not just resisting censorship, but creating new ways to engage audience, both on stage and online. I will give you some historical background about the uses of theater as a tool for resistance. In the early 20th century, theater became an important way to resist Western colonialism in the Arab world. Playwrights used humor and stories from history to criticize colonial power while preserving local culture. For example, Egyptian plays focus on the fight against the British occupation, and Syrian plays highlighted resistance to the French colonial rule. These performances were often held in secret to avoid censorship, making theater a vital way to express political opposition. Sayyid Darwish is a very iconic artist in the Arab world, not just in Egypt. He's a musician and a performer. He revolutionized Egyptian musical theater, transforming it into a powerful tool for political and social resistance, collaborating with major theater troupes at that time. He composed songs that challenged oppression, corruption, and colonial rule. His anthems, such as Ya Masri and Biladi Biladi, it became a very important anthems, and Biladi Biladi became the national anthem of Egypt. It became rallying cries for revolution and national identity by modernizing musical theater and making it accessible to the working class. He redefined it as a platform for social change. His legacy continues to inspire artists who use theater as a form of resistance and activism till now. After the independence from the British occupation, many Arab countries used theater to criticize corruption, dictatorships, and social problems. Although colonial rule ended, new issues emerged with the oppressive government. Theater also addressed topics like gender inequality, labor rights, and class struggles. As government tried to control arts, underground and independent theater movements grow to challenge official stories. Lots of playwrights and lots of artists have emerged and tried to deal with this situation. One of the important artists who worked with this during this era was Tawfiq Hakim. Tawfiq Hakim is a very important playwright and a novelist who is a pioneer of modern Arabic drama. He explored themes of freedom, justice, and identity. His plays was dealing with such issues. Also, another playwright in Syria, he called Saadallah Wanous. Saadallah Wanous is a very important playwright in the Arab region as well. He used theater as a tool for political awakening. His works such as Ritual of Signs and Transformations and The King is the King critique authorization rule, social hypocrisy, and historical injustice. He believes in the power of theater to inspire action. One of his important and famously stating or saying was, "Theater is not a mirror to reality, it is a hammer to shape it." After that, in the beginning, in 2000, from 2010 till 2012, a huge movement happened in the Arab region. It's called the Arab Spring. Lots of revolutions in different countries happened. During this Arab Spring, resistance theater played a key role in raising awareness about political repression and human rights violation during protests across the region. Artists used street performances and social media to address issues like state violence and corruption. Despite the crackdown on artistic expression, resistance theater continues to document struggles and inspire change. This photo actually is from a very important event that happened during the Arab Spring in Egypt. It's called El Fan Midan. It's a festival that happened post 2011. And this initiative transformed public spaces into platforms for free artistic expression and resistance. It featured street theater, music, political plays, addressing themes of freedom, corruption, and social justice. The festival fostered audience participation and inspired similar movements across the region. And despite facing political pressure and eventual shutdown, it left a lasting impact on independent and resistance theater in Egypt. After that, if we want to talk about the contemporary movement and what happened after the Arab Spring, theater groups and artists in the MENA region employed a variety of formats to bypass restrictions, adapting their performances to overcome censorship while engaging wider audience. They often blend traditional forms with contemporary techniques, such as street theater, digital performances, and interactive theater, making their work accessible to diverse audience. Themes like displacement, economic struggles, women's rights, political freedom, and environmental issues become the center of their work, providing a platform for marginalized voices and allowing theater to address the most pressing challenges of the day. In conflicts-affected countries like Syria, Yemen, Sudan, Libya, and even Iraq, theater plays a crucial role in healing and preserving cultural heritage. It becomes a space for storytelling, offering a way to process trauma, rebuild identity, and reflect on shared experiences. Performances in these regions often blend historical narrative with contemporary struggle, creating a bridge between the past and the present. In places where the physical venues are often damaged or unavailable, theater groups have turned into unconventional spaces, from makeshift stages in refugee camps to online platforms, ensuring that the art form remains a lifeline to communities affected by conflicts. In addition, there are lots of theater festivals and grassroots initiatives have emerged across the region. These really create space for alternative narratives and artistic resistance. It's very important to talk about the key themes of theater as a tool for resistance. Resistance theater in the MENA region serves as a powerful critique to dictatorships, censorships, human rights abuse. Playwrights used their work to dramatize the struggle of individuals living under authorization regimes, offering a compelling call for political change. Through bold storytelling, theater artists confront the oppressive systems that stifle freedom of expression, and demand accountability. Also, one of the key themes, very important key themes, which was the social inequality. This genre also addresses critical issues such as economic disparity, gender discrimination, and labor rights. Productions highlighted the injustice faced by marginalized communities, shedding light on the stark divide between the elite and the poor. They emphasizes gender inequalities such as restrictions on women's freedoms and the prevalence of domestic violence, while advocating for social reform and the need for systematic change. All these photos are from performances that been conducted and produced by my company, where they addresses different and challenging issues in our community. One of these challenges was the cultural identity and how we can preserve this identity. Resistance theater plays a crucial role in preserving the rich traditions of local cultures by bringing folklore, historical narrative, and indigenous stories back to life. Theater artists help communities reconnect with their roots. This act of cultural revival fosters a deep sense of pride and belonging, ensuring that these traditions remain alive and vibrant, even in the world of where globalization often threatens to erase unique cultural identities. Through their work, artists remind us of how and who we are and where we come from, offering a powerful reminder of the importance of holding onto our stories and heritage. Another key theme was, which is war and displacement. This theme of war and displacement are also central to contemporary Middle Eastern theater, reflecting the ongoing conflict and forced migration that have shaped the region. These productions humanize the refugee experiences, vividly portraying the emotional and physical toll of displacement, the loss of home, identity, and stability. Through these performances, theater become a powerful tool for raising awareness of the humanitarian crisis, bringing to light the personal stories of those affected by war and migration. There are lots of challenges as artists based in the MENA region face. One of these important challenges is the government restrictions. In the MENA region, strict censorship laws imposed by government severely restrict theatrical expression, particularly when plays challenge political narrative or address sensitive issues, like human rights, for example. Production that confront these topics often face bans, leading to forced script revision, or the search for alternative underground performance space. In some cases, theaters have been shut down and entire production cancelled due to the state of intervention. This censorship not only stifles creative freedom, but also undermines theater potential as a tool for resistance and social change. And let me tell you a very sad story. One of my colleagues were performing one of his performances, and the regime decided that the performance is against what they want to say to the community. So he been arrested and stayed in jail for 1 year. And it was a very sad moment for all the artists, because it was like telling us as artists to stop working and to stop raising this kind of issues and discussing it with the community for not facing such problem that our colleague faced. And that's really what happened in the artist prosecution. Strict censorship laws impose government severely restrict theatrical expression, particularly when play challenges political narrative or address sensitive issues like human rights. Artists involved in resistance theater face significant personal risk. Playwrights, directors, and performers tackling controversial themes such as political oppression, LGBTQ rights, or religious extremism are often subjected to surveillance, harassment, arrest, or even exile. In some instances, artists have been imprisoned on charge of inciting dissent or defaming the state. Others have been forced to leave their home countries to continue their work abroad, using their platform to raise awareness of the challenges faced by those who remain behind. Also, another important figure, and he's not an actress, he's a TV, a program a presenter, and his program actually was a comic show. He was facing the same problem, and he had to leave the country and live here in the US. And he's now became a very well-known stand-up comedian. Maybe you heard about him. He called Bassem Youssef, and he was one of the people who had to fled and leave the country because of the oppression he felt and in Egypt. There are lots of techniques that we use in theater for resistance. One of these very important techniques is symbolism and metaphor. We usually frequently utilize symbolism and metaphor to convey subversive ideas, allowing performers to bypass censorship. Objects, colors, gestures can embody deeper political messages, enabling audience to find meaning beyond the text. For example, an empty chair can symbolize political repression. So usually we use metaphor and symbolism as a technique while we are using theater for resistance. Also, music and chanting is very important technique that we use in this genre, especially the folk songs and protest chants form an essential part of the resistance theater, reinforcing a sense of cultural identity. The music evokes emotional response and creates a shared experience, often highlighting themes of struggle and resilience. Another important technique, which is the non-verbal expression, physical theater and movement. This non-verbal expression is an essential tool in this genre of performances. It allows artists to convey powerful messages of oppression without choosing any word, making the message universal and accessible, especially in places where speech is restricted. Through movement, every gesture, every step, and every pose speak volume, breaking down barriers and reaching people in a way that transcends language can't. In these performances, the body becomes a voice and a powerful form of communication that cannot be silenced, allowing communities to express their struggle and dream no matter the constraints they face. And actually, this technique really helped a lot of people of not being oppressed by, directly by the government, because usually the people who work in governments don't really understand arts. Important technique is engaging audience. One of these techniques been created by an important artist called Augusto Boal. He is a Brazilian artist who created a technique called theater of the oppressed. Theater of the oppressed allow audience to participate in the performance by proposing alternative actions. Usually, theater of the oppressed is being created, performed by non-actors in front of audience, and by using a leading performer who will ask the audience to change any problem or to change the action that happen in the performance they see. Usually, this helps the audience to participate positively by going inside the performance in order to change the action. This engagement fosters critical thinking and community involvement, transforming spectators from passive viewers into active participants in the resistance narrative. Another technique is breaking the fourth wall. For the people who are not, who don't really come from theater background, the fourth wall is an imaginary wall where the performers build it in front of audience, so the audience don't really get involved in the performance. So by breaking this wall, it revive or it propose a direct contact between the performers and the audience, usually to interact directly with them. This imaginary barrier, when it's gone, it helps discussing the issues that the performer wants to say. And these techniques foster engagement and compel viewer to confront the theme of the performance, making them a part of the narrative, not just spectators who don't really want to be involved. These are some of the examples of the independent theater groups that played a pivotal role in driving social change and challenging oppressive systems through performances in the MENA region. These theater companies used their craft to amplify marginalized voices and spark critical conversation about pressing societal issues. Some are based in Palestine, as El Hakawati Theater, the Freedom Theater, Ashtar Theater. There are different companies that are based in different places in Palestine, where these influential groups collectively use performances as a powerful form for resistance, addressing themes of occupation, identity, and freedom. In Egypt, there are different companies as well that really worked in such genre, as El Warsha Troupe, Caravan Theater, and my company, Perform Arts Hub. They making a profound impact by bringing performance art into public spaces and challenging social norms. Caravan Theater, for example, transcends traditional performance space, engaging audience in the streets with interactive performances on human rights, gender equality, and freedom of expression. And Perform Arts Hub connect artists, activists, and audience through collaborative projects that addresses issues such as human rights, gender equality, and environmental justice. Both many groups are reshaping the theater landscape in Egypt, providing platforms for independent artists and fostering a cultural dialogue and activism through arts. Also in Lebanon, there is an important group there called Zukak Theater. Zukak challenges societal norms through evocative performances that tackles critical issues. like migration and trauma. Their work explore Lebanon's socio-political struggle and the complex of post-conflict society, creating space of reflection and healing through art. Also in Syria, many artists captures the emotional and psychological toll of the civil war through performance that focus on themes of war, displacement, and survival. Their work acts as a form of resistance and healing, providing a platform for Syrians to express their trauma, resilience, and hope for future beyond conflicts. The future that we aspire and already working on achieving it is by shifting public spaces, bringing performances directly to the communities, street theater, and interactive storytelling, engaging local audience, making political and social issues more relatable and accessible. This form of theater fosters direct dialogue between performers and spectators, encouraging participation and immediate response to pressing concerns. Bringing Arab resistance theater to global, increasing the restriction on physical performances, we decided to explore more in the digital space, especially after the COVID. All artists all around the world were stayed at their houses, and they had to find other mediums of live performances. So using digital spaces was our only options. But from that point till now, we decided that it's very important to be more open on the online platforms, which will allow us as artists to bypass censorship, reach wider audiences, and preserve performances that might otherwise be silenced. Social media and recorded plays provide accessibility to those who's unable to attend in-person shows due to geographic or financial or even political barriers. Digital theater also enable collaboration among artists in exiles and those still operating within oppressive regimes, ensuring that stories of resistance continue to be told. Another thing that we work on is bringing building international collaborations where global stages enhance advocacy efforts and amplifies suppressed voices. By attending or participating in international festivals, artistic residencies, and cross-borders collaboration, help build networks and solidarity, exposing global audience to the struggle and resilience of artists from the MENA region. Final thing to say, art is not a luxury, it is a necessity. When the world seems to be falling apart, art is the light that keeps us grounded, reminding us that hope and change are possible. Thank you. Final thing, it's an Arabic song. I want to, for you to listen to. It's a very ancient Arabic song. It's been composed and by Said Darwish, the iconic figure that I was talking about, and it's very important because it's all the time it gives us it gives me a mean to continue working.
صاروا هادي اللي كان ملكش حق ملكش حق تلوم عليا اهو ده اللي صاروا هادي اللي كان ملكش حق ملكش حق تلوم عليا تلوم عليا ازاي يا سيدنا وخير بلادنا ماهوش في ايدنا تلوم عليا ازاي يا سيدنا وخير بلادنا ماهوش في ايدنا قولي عن اشياء تفيدنا وبعدها يبقى لوم عليا.
I think that's enough. The song is it's an iconic song. It's about asking the ruler or asking the people who are in authority how they blame us as a community if we don't have anything to do by our hands. So it's a very important song for me because we have something to do. We have a power to create change. So even if this song happened or been created in the past, but it's not happening now. We are creating change. Thank you.
Thank you, Iman, so much. So I'll just open the floor to questions or comments. If anybody has any questions about Iman's practice or other things that she talked about today about the wider arts practice in the Middle Eastern region.
I have a microphone. I know it's a small room, but so the recording can hear your question.
Thank you for your talk, and the inspirational part at the end also. It's really good to hear. I'd like to hear more about you. Like, how did you start your company, and was it hard? And, you know, what were the steps along the way?
Okay. Well, actually, I was privileged. After finishing my college school, I got a fellowship in East Anglia University in the UK, where I met Holly to do my master's degree. I decided to study theater for development, which basically using theater as a tool for social change. And when I go back to my city and my country, I decided to work and to focus my work on this. I did lots of projects with different initiatives, and at that time I established my own organization, which is Reflection, in cooperation with different colleagues. And this organization was developing projects in streets with marginalized communities, discussing and providing services on how to overcome suppression and overcome social norms and facing the problems that we are facing in our community. And I did that for many years. And in 2017, I got the opportunity to study cultural management. And from that point, I decided to see things from different perspective, not just as a performer, but also as a leader. So I decided to create another company where I train young emerged artists on how to use theater for social change. So I became not just a performer or a person who work in small initiatives and projects as a performer, but also I became a leader in this field by providing building capacity opportunities for these emerged artists to use this powerful tool in changing their community. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you so much. Your talk resonates, I think especially because we are living in very troubled times, not just in the Middle East, but here as well. And I'm wondering, this phrase keeps on coming, and maybe it's the title of a play or something, or a book, but it's like, an author in search of an audience, or, a playwright in search of an audience, right? So the question is, how do you find your audience? And how do sites, perhaps, different locations or sites for performances impact theater as resistance, theater as social change?
Usually in our work, we don't really target a huge audience. We target limited people because we want the direct interaction. So usually our work is performed for from 20 till 80 persons per performance, and usually it depends on the performance itself, because we work in site-specific theaters, anywhere, warehouses, lobbies, stairs, streets, gardens. So it depends. Either it's open air or indoors, depend on the performance itself. We build the performance depends on the issue that we want to talk about. We are facing lots of issues and lots of problems in our community. So sometimes, because I don't direct all the performances, but I have lots of colleagues who direct performances that's really, they want to talk in this performance about issues that's really related to them. So some of them, of the performance discuss environmental issues, or women empowerment, or domestic violence, harassment. It depends on the subject. And then we decide to either create the piece based on real events by having interviews of people who face or struggle from such problems, or created fictionally, depends on the projects. And then we find the place. Usually, if it's a personal spaces, we don't find any problems performing there. But if these spaces belong to the government, we have to obtain permissions, and not all the time we succeed in obtaining such permissions, but we find alternatives all the time. Yeah.
Thank you. I was just wondering if you could talk a little bit about either some of the most recent productions you've been a part of, or the ones that you found most meaningful or impactful.
A very important production that we have produced last year. It's a production that discussed a major problem that we are facing in Alexandria, which is coastal erosion. Alexandria is facing a huge problem relating to the global environment problem and sea level rising. So in 30 years, Alexandria may not be there anymore. So we created this production to discuss and raise awareness about this problem with the community in Alexandria. Although we don't really have something to do to change this fate, but it's very important to talk to people and to tell them about the problem, and maybe try to raise questions to the government, ask what they are going to do to make this not happen to us. So it's this was one of the important projects that we did last year, and it's let me show you a picture from this production. I hope it's there. Yes. This was the production. It's called I See. And in Arabic it's Ana al-Bahr. That means I am the sea, but in English it's I see. And in this production, we did lots of things in it. Like I participated last year in a fashion show with this amazing company where they use plastics in their creating and in their designs. So we collaborated by creating the designs of the costumes of the play, all from plastics, to raise awareness about this problem and how plastic really affects our lives. And at the same time, we wanted, because this performance was about the coastal erosion, we wanted to perform it in front of a beach, but we couldn't have the permission. The government denied our permission to do so. So we decided, okay, we cannot do it in outdoors, so we will do it indoors. So we put it on a regular stage, which was not the perfect place for it, but it was good, and the feedback of the audience was really good. People after the performance came to us, asked lots of questions about the performance, about the issue and how to deal with it, and how to what they have to do. Lots of people came to us afterwards and telling us that they searched about the problem, and they began reforming groups to discuss how they can really raise awareness about it. So it was a very important production. Yeah. Yeah.
I really loved hearing about the history of theater as resistance in the MENA region. And it made me think about other areas of the world. Like I study applied theater in Latin America. And I know that when there is censorship, often memory is intentionally erased. So people are detained, disappeared, exiled. And I'm just wondering, because in certain parts of the world, there has been a very strong movement of theater's resistance, and then it's intentionally erased. And that memory is very hard to recover. And so it's sort of a fragmented history. And I wonder if you could talk about whether it's been a sort of ongoing trajectory in the region that you're speaking about, or if there are these sort of holes in the story because of those politics of censorship. And I also just loved how the idea of using metaphor and symbolism, that's something that has been used all over the world, and it's so empowering, and I think it's something we can think about right now as well.
Well, if I'm going to talk about metaphor and symbolism, actually it's a technique that we used to use it from like 100 years. Satire, using satire, comedy, because usually the regime don't really understand satire. They don't really understand comedy. They see, okay, clowns are talking, so it's okay. They are not doing any kind of impact, but they afraid of the direct word. So they understand speech. They don't understand art. So that's why we use all the time the symbolism and metaphors. As for what's happening in the region, well, actually, using theater for social change and using theater as a resistance is not just based in the Middle East or in the Arab countries. It's all around the globe. As I said before, the Forum Theater or the Theater of the Oppressed was formed actually in Brazil. So, and it was formed and created to change the society there. Different techniques, the legislative theater, where they, in Brazil, they used this technique to question legislatives and change rules of the country. The Forum Theater is to change social norms and social problems. So different techniques have been used all around the world. But in our countries, it's not about losing memories. It's about, we are facing lots of problems as artists because we are not really formulated as big companies where we are insecure all the time. No, we face oppression, we face exiles, we face, because we are individuals, usually. In the MENA region, you will find ups and downs. From 10 years, we have lots of initiatives in Egypt, lots of initiatives, especially after the Arab Spring, who worked in music, theater, dancing, lots of companies that worked in different art forms. Nowadays, most of them either left the country, fled away, or stopped working, or made a shift career. And that's because of the harassment of the authorities to the work by different means. Sometimes direct harassment, sometimes not providing sufficient funds to continue their work, sometimes not giving them permissions to work or shut down their performances before the performance starts. So it depends on what's happening. Nowadays, we are facing lots of problems related to this issue. I have, as I said, from 10 years, I was participated or I've been a member in 20 initiatives. The people from this initiative are, who really stayed till now are 2. And I'm talking about my country only. What about other countries and what's happening all around the world? But we, as I said, by putting the last song, I'm continue working. I'm doing what I love and I'm continue what I'm doing. So there's hope. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your talk. It's great that you're here. I should just say that I don't know anybody else, but I'm very involved in Asian and Middle Eastern studies here on campus. Mm-hmm. And I direct a Middle Eastern music ensemble. And I believe that, through the many years that I've done that, just putting that culture on stage and talking about the language and the history and the poetry and the biographies and the geographies of that material is a way of being activist. Yes. I'm curious, with Cairo being Dunya, mother of the world, and
not Cairo, Egypt.
Excuse me,
Egypt.
all of Egypt, right? But with Cairo being sort of the combined Los Angeles and New York, not only of the Arab world, but really of the Islamic world, in terms of the way it has radiated music and film and culture and theater and so forth. Tell us a little bit more about what is special about Alexandria. I've never been there, but it is on my list, and just it's, that it looks north toward the Mediterranean and has been part of this whole circulation, and of course, the opening of the Suez Canal was such a big deal for travel and trade and the exchange of the intersection of all different kinds of communities and so forth. And I know, Alexandria is just sort of on the way to that as well. So just tell us a little bit more about your city.
Yeah.
Please. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, actually, Cairo is the capital city of Egypt. It's like any capital city in the whole world. It's a centralized city. Everything happening in the capital. Egypt is small when I compare it to the US, because usually, let me tell you something, it's very, very comedy for me. From our perspective, we see the US one country. So, and actually each state in the US is bigger than our country. But we see the US as one country. So usually, we deal with the capital city, which is Cairo, like the capital city of the US. So it's comedy for me. So everything happening in Cairo, everything centralized there. The media is there. The artists, if they want to be celebrities or to work in the field, they have to live in Cairo. Nothing happened, or not that much happened in the rest of the cities all around Egypt. Alexandria is different. Alexandria is a cosmopolitan city. It's based on the Mediterranean. So we are open to different cultures, not like Cairo. Cairo is people who come from different cities and live there. But Alexandria is international. People come and go. So we are more open to the international society. We have a big community, a Greek community, who have been living in Alexandria and still living there, which really open exchanging cultures and ideas between different people from different backgrounds. We have all the time, because we are a Mediterranean city, so somehow we are connected to the Mediterranean. Either the South Mediterranean or even the North Mediterranean. Somehow we are connected. The structure of the city itself, the way people are, the norms or the social norms that we are having, the problems, even the problems. I have friends from the Mediterranean Sea, from different cities there, and somehow when I went to places on the Mediterranean, I feel okay. Greek is not that different from Alexandria. The structure of the buildings, we have something, just one thing that's not in common, which is the language. But somehow we will find similar words. Alexandria is very important in Egypt in terms of its openness to new cultures and new ideas, and not because I'm from Alexandria, but most of the well-known cultural figures have been born and raised in Alexandria. Not just because I'm from Alexandria, but that it's true. It's true.
Great. Well, thank you. I actually wanted to ask you, Iman came to my class earlier and was talking more about her productions. I wanted to know more about the fishermen, the production about the fishermen who were forced out of their community, and how you developed that and where that was performed, and what kind of, if you used more metaphors or more direct address with a production like that.
Okay, so the production Holly is talking about, there's a place in Alexandria called El Max. El Max is, it's similar to our way of thinking to Venice, because it's a fisherman city. It's a fisherman where they live on both sides of a small river. So they when they go to their houses, they ride a boat in order to go to their houses. And it's a very small city. Basically, all the people who live there are fishermen. And because of some people in the government decided that they want to displace this community because they wanted to build a compound there. So it was a huge problem. these people don't know other places to live in except this place. They built their houses by their own hands. Lots of memories there, lots of stories. And when this happened, we decided to create or to produce this work based on their narrative, their stories. We wanted to preserve their stories for future archive because after they displaced from this place, we lost connection, and they lost connection, which is with each others. So it was very important for us to build such a production and create a way of preserving their narrative, their stories, their memories for future generations. Yeah.
Earlier you mentioned working in music and chanting in your productions. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about how that works with your productions specifically. Do you write your own music? If so, like where do you take your inspiration from? Do you use pieces of music that already exist? How do you adapt them? How do you integrate them? I would love to hear more.
Yeah, well, because music is very important in our culture and chanting is very, very, very important. We decided that it's a good way to connect to a wider audience. Usually the musical productions that we do is performed in big theaters where wider audience are there. Our music is not original, not completely original, but most of them are based on well-known musics from old musics from the heritage. So, and usually we work on building this performances where we talk about cultural identity and explore more about heritage of our community, especially the common heritage. And let me show you one of the important performances that we did. Sorry. Oh, okay. This performance is called El Mulid. El Mulid is an event that happened annually in rural places where people celebrating the birth of our Prophet Muhammad by singing, dancing, playing, doing lots of artistic work. And the production, yes, and the production was celebrating this event by bringing some of the common art that happened in the streets and formulating it, performing it to different audience, because usually these places are not accessible to everyone. It's became very crowded and not accessible to every people. So we take songs from the heritage, reform it, and reuse it in different contexts. And I wish maybe in the future to work with composers to create our original songs. It will be great.
Any other questions? I'd like to thank Iman so
Thank
much
you.
for coming.
Thank you.